In LA this week,
city leaders unveil a multi-layered approach to end homelessness here in Los Angeles, while we get reaction from people living on the streets. I'm Gil Reyes in Skid Row with the story.
In the field of technology, which is often dominated by men, women are making strides. I'm Rasha Goel. Up next, we talk to a 13-year-old who's made a name for herself at such a young age in this field.
These kids at Sunrise Elementary School have been adopted by the I Have a Dream Foundation, which gives them a much brighter future. I'm Anna Marcos, and we'll tell you what that means coming up.
hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. Our top story this week, city leaders take steps to remove criminal penalties from a controversial new law targeting homeless encampments. Gil Reyes reports from City Hall.
A city council committee makes a bold recommendation. Homeless people should not be fined or arrested for refusing to take down their tents.
If they want us off the street, help us get off the street. Give us the funding.
We need housing. If we had housing, the people would get off the streets and take their stuff with them. We wouldn't be having this discussion. But to criminalize them is totally inhumane.
The city's homelessness committee, headed by Councilman Jose Huizar, agrees. It wants to remove criminal penalties from a controversial city ordinance passed in June. This law allows authorities to remove tents, canopies, and other items considered nuisances after 24 hours notice, sometimes earlier, depending on the health and safety risks. Homeless people who resist could be fined or arrested.
There are many rights to be considered, and the right of the community to have a clean and accessible sidewalks is imperative. We know from Skid Row that multiple encampments on sidewalks result in serious health consequences.
But following complaints from homeless advocates, Mayor Eric Garcetti asked city departments to delay taking down the tents until the committee considers amendments. Amendments aimed at protecting the homeless, many of whom cannot pay the fines. Despite the mayor's request to delay enforcement, some homeless people say their property has been seized. Health experts say this could cause other problems.
As a doctor, I'm concerned about the fact that undoubtedly as people's personal property is removed and stored and impounded, that will include their medications, which will impair the physical health and the mental health.
Amendments will soon be voted on by the full city council. In downtown LA, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Another amendment would allow the city to confiscate homeless people's possessions only if there is storage availability nearby. Well, our cameras caught up with one homeless man who claims his makeshift shelter was recently seized and destroyed by the LAPD. Gil Reyes has his story along with suggestions from city leaders for ending homelessness.
I had nothing left, nothing.
Homeless Skid Row resident Thomas Mazzoni talking about the first time police tore down his tent after they considered it a nuisance earlier this year. Weeks later, Mazzoni put up a smaller tent to call home. The officers returned
And told me that if I didn't leave, that I would be arrested and what little bit I had left would be taken also.
and they took it.
And they did.
We've got to stop criminalizing the homeless. We've got to change the conversation and focus like we are today on solutions.
Councilman Gil Cedillo and LA Mayor Eric Garcetti among those discussing possible solutions at this House LA symposium at the Autry Museum. The mayor says pending state legislation could add hundreds of millions of dollars to LA's affordable housing funding. There's also a new $10 million contribution from the city's general fund.
$5 million up front and $5 million that will come from revenues that we now charge for hotel taxes from companies like Airbnb that will help us make sure that we're putting money back into affordability.
LA Mayor Eric Garcetti reminding people that his plan to end homelessness here in Los Angeles is without a doubt a team effort. He's urging local landlords to open up any vacancies to people with federal housing vouchers. Garcetti says hundreds of military veterans with vouchers are being turned away by landlords and forced to live on the street.
And they're good tenants. They're dependable tenants. They've served our country in many cases. Let's step up and help them out.
The mayor says he's working with city departments to streamline permitting and construction of new housing, while Mazzoni suggests opening up old abandoned buildings in downtown to the homeless.
Whoever owns them could retrofit them or make them livable and rent them out at a reasonable Section 8 rate or something.
While other homeless people are concerned their tents will be taken down soon.
But this is all we got. So yeah, we don't have anything else, man. You know, we are worried about it.
On Skid Row, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Through outreach and plans for more housing, local leaders hope to place 500 people from Skid Row in permanent supportive housing within a year. Well, tech jobs are a huge growing sector in the market, yet there is still a discrepancy between the number of men and women who are pursuing this field. Rasha Goel has more on how it might be changing in the future. Rasha.
Yana, I'm at the Getty House, the mayor's residence, where Mayor Eric Garcetti recognized Women's Equality Day. 13-year-old Kayla Banks has already made a name for herself in the tech world. A girl who learned to code at the age of 9, she recently got on stage at the OSCON Developers Conference and impressed the audience with her speech, Undefinable Me.
We're all put into a skin that we have no control of. So really your job and your mission is to show everybody what's inside of you.
She inspired the 4,000-person crowd by telling them she wasn't going to be limited by how people label her.
I just talked to them about myself and my future. And I got, after I did my speech, I was reading all the tweets, and it just, how many people were just so inspired. Even people were saying that they cried. It just makes me really think that there was a purpose in giving a talk.
She is among the few who have chosen to pursue a career in the tech field, where officials say men outnumber women 4-to-1 in jobs. And her advice?
Don't worry about the barriers and gender roles. I mean, like myself, everybody just welcomed me in. Yeah, they might look at me a little weird at conventions, but yeah, if you want to do it, then you can do it.
Luz Rivas, an MIT graduate, also attended the mayor's Women's Equality Day celebration and talked to us about her experiences of working in the field.
It's challenging when you're one of the only women in a big classroom or at work. You know, when I first started as an engineer, I was the only woman on my team. You know, being the only woman, sometimes, there's more scrutiny in your work. They doubt you. You have to prove yourself more, I think, than if you were a man.
And now she's created a platform with DIY Girls, do-it-yourself girls, whose mission is to increase girls' interest and success in technical careers. Even the city of LA is encouraging more women to apply in the field of technology.
We know that we can't guarantee the outcomes, but we can sure work hard towards them. And if we do our work hard enough, we can be pretty much rest assured that eventually the outcomes will follow.
With the resources and support in place, pursuing a career in the field of technology is an opportunity that could be as easy as a push of a button. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Women's Equality Day at the mayor's home celebrated women from all different city departments. While LAPD officers in parts of downtown and the San Fernando Valley will soon be equipped with new on-body cameras to help in their investigations. As Gil Reyes reports, the public will also have virtually no access to the footage.
You may notice more officers wearing them. Hundreds of on-body cameras will be given to officers in Mission, Newton, and Central divisions in the coming weeks, a way to improve police transparency. But the public has its doubts.
If these videos will not be shown to the public, how do we know what really happened, who did what?
At a recent police commission meeting, speakers and Commissioner Robert Saltzman raised concerns over video access. The rules are body cam footage generally won't be released to the public. Also, officers can review footage of police shootings and other use of force incidents before they file their reports. Critics say this might give cops a chance to alter their stories and justify use of force based on what's captured.
For me, that undermines the significant effort going on here, which is to increase transparency and increase trust.
Over the next 6 months, the LAPD will be reviewing the use and deployment of its on-body cameras, recommending minor tweaks here and there when warranted, after speaking with officers and the public. One thing that won't be changing, however, is the practice of allowing officers to look at the footage before filing their reports. That practice will remain unless the police commission changes the rules. Police also won't be sharing footage with the public unless the chief of police gives the okay.
That's just not a video. It could be an interview of you as the victim of a crime or somebody who witnessed what happened. We don't disclose that for a number of reasons, including protecting your privacy.
And the possibility of jeopardizing investigations. 860 on-body cameras will be handed out to officers by October. In downtown LA, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Earlier this year, the City Council approved a budget that sets aside half the funding needed to capture 7,000 more cameras. Well, it's a program that gives the most at-risk inner-city kids a chance to dream big and go to college. The I Have a Dream Foundation is now making dreams happen at an elementary school in Boyle Heights. Anna Marcos has more.
We are the dreamers, the mighty, mighty dreamers, the mighty, mighty dreamers.
The future just got brighter for 65 third graders at the Boyle Heights Sunrise Elementary School. The I Have a Dream Foundation has adopted them, and for the next 10 years, it will mentor them and give them the academic help they need to succeed.
I think they're going to help us with our math, reading, and writing.
What do you need help with exactly?
Math.
You have trouble adding or subtracting?
I have trouble doing like multiplication. I don't have that much trouble.
Are you a straight A student?
Yes.
So you don't need help?
No.
This becomes the 19th class adopted by the foundation, which picks schools in places like Watts, Inglewood, and Boyle Heights, places where the kids often don't have the same opportunities as others.
We don't cherry pick the students at all. So we take every single one of them. We have 7 special needs children in this class. One of them is even nonverbal, but we don't leave anybody out.
The kids get help graduating high school in a city where less than half of inner city kids ever graduate. They also get help getting into college with an $8,000 scholarship.
And that's what we want to see at our schools, the whole community coming together in support of our children who deserve the very best.
Education is so important to increase your opportunities and the possibilities for your future.
These kids are dreaming big already.
Tell me what you want to do in college. What do you want to study?
I want to study how to be an FBI agent. Go! Go! Go, team, team, go!
The total cost of making sure these students succeed, about $25,000 per student over the next 10 years. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The I Have a Dream program is funded by private donors and foundation grants. While city leaders go for Olympic gold, a reward is being offered in the shooting death of a man in South LA, and some orangutans at the LA Zoo are flying high. All these stories in City Beat. A $50,000 reward is being offered for information in the shooting death of 21-year-old Almicar Ponce, who was killed in June while standing with a friend on the sidewalk in South LA. The gunshots came from 2 cars heading northbound on Wall Street from 43rd Street. Ponce's sister said he was kind and generous.
He was always very caring and looking out for others, and not only for us as a family, but as a community. Everybody in their neighborhood knew him.
We know that the family needs closure, the community needs closure, and we ask for your help in providing information that will lead to the resolution of this case.
Anyone with information is urged to call the Newton Division at 323-846-6556. Well, it's been more than 3 decades since athletes from around the world descended upon the LA Coliseum during the 1984 Olympic Games. And now, City Council members voted unanimously to put LA on the global stage again by moving forward with a bid to host the 2024 Olympic Games. Council members agreed to back the bid after city attorneys assured them the city will not be making any immediate financial commitments. Following the vote, the U.S. Olympic Committee selected Los Angeles as the nation's candidate to bid for the 2024 Summer Games. The USOC Board of Directors joined Council President Herb Wetson and LA Mayor Eric Garcetti in Santa Monica to make it official.
Los Angeles is Olympics ready. The Olympics is in our DNA.
Olympics love LA, and LA loves the Olympics. We hope to return those games back home.
The Los Angeles Zoo has debuted a newly renovated red ape rainforest, the first major improvements to be made since the exhibit opened in July of 2000. The goal of the 8-month project was to take the 6 orangutans, who called the habitat home, off the ground and give them more climbing options. The makeover included a thicker, stronger stainless steel woven mesh, several 2- and 3-tiered wooden climbing structures, 10 bridges on land and suspended in the air, 2 swings used for foraging and play, and several hammocks. Well, it's back to school, and that means back to basics when it comes to pedestrian and cycling safety around campus. Gil Reyes reports from South LA.
Students from South LA's 99th Street School receive advice that could save their lives during the morning walk to campus. The first tip is to always stop, look, and listen before crossing the street.
Slowing down and not being in a rush. Because when we're late or we're in a rush or we're trying to make it to class on time, we're often running and we forget that there's other folks on the road.
Lessons to start the school year right from the nonprofit group Safe Moves. They've teamed with the LAPD Southeast Division and LA School Police for a morning of safety reminders. Tips like using crosswalks when crossing the street and wearing bicycle helmets always when cycling. These life-saving tips also apply to the children's parents, who, by a show of hands, are far too often texting and driving while children are in the car. Many of these students admit seeing their parents texting and driving during the commute to school. Not only is safety compromised, but drivers could be fined $160 for the first offense, $280 or more for subsequent violations. Children are also reminded that accidents can happen while texting and walking.
If you go to any middle school or even an elementary school, you'll see kids with cell phones walking mindlessly across the street, walking on the sidewalk with their cell phones. Their heads are down. So we're teaching kids the phone goes in the backpack and the head stays up.
Giving kids a leg up on safety. In South LA, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Police are also urging students to walk and bike in groups. Well, Southern California has made it on the map for having the second worst streets in the country, and cities like LA are helping to pick up the slack. Mayor Eric Garcetti has helped outline a new plan called Fix Our Roads to help fill those pesky potholes. Anna Marcos has the story.
We've all felt them, driven through them, complained about them. The pothole problem makes one big dent in California's streets and its economy. Now city leaders have teamed up with county and state leaders to clean up California's streets and highways with a Fix Our Roads campaign.
We need $78 billion of repairs for our roads. And if we don't get ahead of this game, we're going to fall behind.
The city of LA paved 2,400 miles of roads last year, enough to build one long road from here to Washington, D.C. But it's still not enough, because our roads, like those throughout the state, are decades behind when it comes to improvements.
Both the Port of Long Beach and the ports of Los Angeles move 40% of America's cargo up across the state. Our roads leading in and out of our ports, our bridges, the infrastructure need support, and they need investment to continue moving America's cargo.
State and local leaders are putting together a package to provide long-term, consistent funding for fixing our roads, including investing a part of the gas tax for transportation projects.
California cannot have a strong middle class or a thriving economy if our roads are congested and people and goods aren't moving efficiently.
Every year we delay in improving our road infrastructure, the price tag goes up.
On the home front, Councilmember Joe Buscaino introduced a motion to require private parking garages to accept credit cards so the city can rely on a paper trail to claim its 10% cut. The city will also improve its formula for charging companies that rip up the street, such as cable and telephone operators. All told, that's millions more that could go into providing a smoother ride for all of us. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Studies show Angelino drivers spend more than $1,000 a year in added car maintenance costs due to potholes and bad roads. While MacArthur Park Lake becomes home to an exhibition of floating artwork, Rasha Goel has more on the creative spheres that are bringing color to the park.
It's not every day we see the mayor of Los Angeles kayaking at MacArthur Park Lake, but how could you not with hand-painted floating inflatable spheres? It's all part of the Portrait of Hope's project featuring 3,000 spheres.
This is going to be the largest public art project in the United States and also the largest civic project in the United States.
The project is conceived by the nonprofit organization Portraits of Hope. Each orb is 4 to 6 feet in diameter and covered in bright floral and fish patterns.
Altogether, we've had almost 10,000 people throughout Los Angeles work on this project. Now, many of them are school kids who, before they even had a chance to put a paintbrush on these spheres, had to go through a course in public policy.
9-year-old Okalani Santiago helped paint one of the spheres, but today was even more special for her.
I think it was kind of cool because I never met the mayor before and I got to do it with the mayor.
The spheres will be in water for a month and then will be donated to social services institutions across the country.
Creativity isn't just something that we apply to solve problems. Creativity is about inspiring our souls. It's about igniting our community. It's about reinvigorating our entire city.
And this is one creative project that will keep the ball rolling. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Officials hope this will be a stepping stone in revitalizing what's been considered an iconic and historic park in Los Angeles. Well, following the announcement that LA is in the running to host the 2024 Olympic Games, Angelinos were quick to post their excitement on social media. That's the focus of This Week in Tweets. The LA Mayor's office tweeted a pic of the LA Coliseum all lit up, posting, "The Olympic flame is burning bright in LA tonight." Alex Morgan posted, "Looking forward to bringing the Olympics back to my hometown, #LA 2024. The LA Public Library favored a tweet from Mashable, which posted a pic of the mayor in a victory pose with council members Marquise Harris Dawson and Joe Buscaino. They tweeted, "LA is the U.S. candidate for the 2024 Olympics. The mayor is ecstatic." Jacob Soboroff tweeted a pic of a guy doing a flyby in a jetpack at the LA Coliseum. He wrote, "LA made a dude fly for 84 Olympics. Imagine the crazy-ish in 2024. So stoked we're official USA bid city." And that's a look at This Week in Tweets. Well, some folks got a chance recently to see the LA waterfront like they've never had before, as the Port of LA showcased all that it has to offer. There's nothing like taking a ride on the open sea and enjoying the sights of the LA waterfront, from sea lions taking a leisurely swim to catching a glimpse of Battleship Iowa.
Oh, I love it. You know, I went to the captain bed and I took pictures and all these things. It's very exciting.
In an effort to connect folks with LA's waterfront, officials hosted the first ever Waves and Wheels event, offering free boat tours in celebration of World Trade Week, which promotes international commerce by educating folks on the major role the LA port plays in trade relations.
It's important that people are able to come down here and see what we do and how this affects international trade.
Riders also got to see various attractions from different perspectives, such as massive cargo containers, vessels, the Maritime Museum, and Ports of Call Village. A memorable experience for one visitor.
I miss the sea. I was an ex-sailor, a retired sailor.
Officials say the boat tours are just one of many events that help bridge the gap between the port and the public.
The port, this is a working, vibrant port, and it's important that we share that with the community.
A vibrant port that offers something for everyone, including these incredible views. And in addition to those stunning vistas, San Pedro also offers some delicious culinary delights. More than 20 of the area's finest restaurants recently headed outdoors to share their tasty dishes on the LA waterfront. As Gil Reyes reports, community is on the menu at the new Taste of San Pedro event.
Welcome along to the Taste of San Pedro. It's a fine day for it as well.
No tall tales from this tall pirate. It's a glorious afternoon with a lot on your plate to enjoy.
What's your favorite part of this event?
The food, the wine.
I think the music.
Oh, we saw Irish dancers. That was awesome.
We're at the Port of LA's new Taste of San Pedro event, back after a 3-year absence. Smaller but more upscale, this tent-to-tent community food fest takes place at the Port's crafted marketplace.
We did it in more of a festival setting before, but this is an event designed to feature more really of food and beverage that we have to offer and talent rather than a carnival. A lot of people don't know about what San Pedro has to offer, so this is an opportunity for people to come out and experience our fabulous restaurants and our beverages.
You want one too? More than 20 area restaurants represented. J. Tranny's, which celebrates 90 years in the neighborhood, serves up Japanese hamachi tartar and chicken sausage. Owner and fourth-generation San Pedro resident Dustin Tranny is rediscovering his community by stepping outside the kitchen.
You have so many different restaurants, so many different people that I see come at the restaurant but don't really get the time to interact with them on a social level. So here it's just fun, relaxed, you got live music, great food, awesome people, and you couldn't beat the day. It's beautiful out.
See what else is cooking at the Waterfront by visiting sanpedrochamber.com. In San Pedro, Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Other favorite restaurants on the bill included The Whale and Ale, 22nd Street Landing, and San Pedro Brewing Company. While enjoying Italian opera under the night sky, getting inspired by modern architecture, and a race that'll get your heart pumping. All this in this week's Things to Do. On September 12th and 13th, Pacific Opera Project continues its successful run of presenting engaging productions in unique venues across Los Angeles with an outdoor production of Giuseppe Verdi's Falstaff. Enjoy table seating with food and wine, a top-notch cast and orchestra all under a starry sky as Pop presents this thoroughly good-natured masterpiece in a celebratory atmosphere, proving once again that opera is an art for the masses. The performance takes place at the Museum Plaza at Forest Lawn, Glendale, located at 1712 South Glendale Avenue in Glendale. For more, visit PacificOperaProject.com. Are you a fan of modern mid-century architecture? Well, here's your chance to spend Saturday, September 12th touring some of the finest examples of modern design in Venice, Santa Monica, Hermosa Beach, and more. The LA Beach City's modern home tours are dedicated to finding the best modern residential architecture in the U.S. and beyond. Explore new products, architecture, and design, and examine the people, places, and things that define modern. With carefully selected architects, neighborhoods, and architecture, you'll not only learn about the cutting edge of home design, but you might even get an idea or two for your next home project. For more info and tickets, visit modernhometours.com. For some heart-pumping racing action, head out to the Red Bull Global Rallycross at the Port of LA on September 12th and 13th. Join other racing fans for all-day racing action, exhibitor booths, awesome giveaways, and more. Every ticket is a pit pass, so the entire family can visit the paddock to see the stars and cars of Red Bull Global Rallycross. Ken Block leads the championship, but anything could happen on this doubleheader weekend. The event takes place at Port of Los Angeles, berth 46. That's at 3011 Minor Street. Gates open at 10 a.m. For tickets, visit TIXR.com. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay, and from all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at LACityBeat.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.